Hello, hello, hello. This is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and we're going to do another episode of 5 in 25. And Ella's here. You going to say hi? She's here. She can say hello. Oh, she doesn't want to say hello. Okay, all right, sit down though. You have to sit down so I can finish talking. And your hair's got static cling. Static cling. Hello, everybody. I wanted to talk to you about some more book recommendations for my 5 and 25, and today we're going to do historical fiction, which is one of my favorite genres. So this is a very challenging one. I just went and picked from the shelves. I didn't pick to trigger if this is my favorite. I just found some that I really enjoyed that I thought I would want to recommend. Can you sit down right there? Let's sit all the way down. No, sit down all the way. Okay. All right. So let's see what we're going to start with. Let's start in Jamaica. Okay, this one, you got to go back away because I talked about this a lot back when I read it. And it's flagged up to tell you. And this historical fiction is Pow by Carrie Young. What is that? This one was so much fun to read. So enjoyable. Let's see, I will read a little of the back for you because they describe it better than I. But I'm just going to tell you, I really enjoyed this. And there's several books to this that follow along with different characters from this book that are equally good. And this one is As a Boy. Oh my God, I got your hair. I think your mouth, Ella. Oh God. Oh, oh no. Excuse me, everybody. Oh God. Did you see that? It was like a, no offense, Ella, but, oh my God. Okay. I need to edit that out. Big puffs of hair. She's shedding right now, you know. She's not, golden doodles supposedly don't shed, but here's the thing they don't tell you. It depends on the percentage of poodle in them. This here Missy, oh, we're talking about you. This here Missy does not have as much poodle in her, although she's curly, so you do see her poodle curls, but she has more golden retriever in her, and therefore she is has tendency to shed. She doesn't shed a lot, but she's going through that phase, and she needs a power haircut because it's gotten really long right now. So hence why I just, you know, and I keep feeling still like I have a big fur ball in my mouth, but I digress. Let's get back to Jamaica and let's talk about hair flying. Hair flying through the air. Oh, okay. Let's talk about Pow. So this book was written by Carrie Young, and it says, as a boy, Pow comes to Jamaica with his mother and brother in the wake of the Chinese Civil War. His father has died in the fighting, and the family finds a provider in, I think it's pronounced Zhang, the godfather of Kingston's Chinatown. Pow is inducted into the business and soon steps into Zhang's shoes, running small-time rackets and providing necessary protection for the Chinese community. Pow becomes a powerful man, but he's not a typical crime boss. He's sensitive at heart and guided by the principles of the Sun Tzu art of war, even though, as he discovers, the wisdom of the ancient Chinese sage can be tough to interpret when applied to the criminal and romantic predicaments he faces. Jamaica is in, oh my God, I still feel your hair, Ella. This is going to be like the worst video. Jamaica is in a flux. Sounded like something else. Transitioning from the last days of British rule while confronting the social and economic inequality left behind and the resulting unrest. Okay, so the beauty of this book was you get a bit about this, which I wasn't aware of this Chinese Civil War. You get a little bit of that history. You get some of the earlier history of Jamaica and the relations between the Chinese and the Black Jamaicans. And this story is just so good. I really loved it. I don't think I would recommend this if I didn't. I think that you will really love it. And like when I was reading it, I could hear like the patois, like in when you're reading it. It was written so well that I just raved about it. So I thought this would be a great one that people aren't talking about that you might want to check out for a historical fiction. So you do get some good information there, but you also get a fantastic story with characters that you're just they're deeply flawed for various reasons. And then later on, the other books will follow some of the characters and from their view, and still phenomenal. Like, she's such a great writer. I don't think she's writing anything new anymore, but she should, because she has the gift. So really good. So there's that. Let's go dark a little bit. The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. May or may not have heard this one. Right now they have a I'm gonna take my shoes off. Oh, don't touch. They have a, I think it's on Netflix, Hulu, one of those streaming services. They have an adaptation of this. I don't know if I could watch it. This one it's not for faint of heart. It's really sad. It's a historical fiction based on a really sad story. It says, as the Civil War movement begins to reach the Black enclave of Frenchtown and segregated Tallahassee, Elwood Curtis takes the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to heart. He is as good as anybody. Abandoned by his parents, but kept on the straight and narrow by his grandmother, Elwood is in high school, senior, about to start classes at a local college. But for a Black boy in the Jim Crow South in the early 1960s, one innocent mistake is enough to destroy the future. Elwood is sentenced to a juvenile reformatory called the Nickel Academy, whose mission statement says it provides physical, intellectual, and moral training so that the delinquent boys in their charge can become honorable and honest men. In reality, the academy is a grotesque chamber of horrors where the sadistic staff beat and sexually abuse the students. Yeah, there is a trigger warning for this one. Corrupt officials and locals steal food and supplies, and any boys who resist is likely to disappear out back. This is a really dark book. It's a very good book, and it's based on a real place. And so it's one of those books that is an important read, but you really have to be prepared for some heavy stuff. That's why I don't know if I'll be able to stomach seeing an adaptation on screen for this. I don't know what they're going to pull on it, but tears will be had, anger will be felt, and it's just 1960 isn't that far away. I know for some people it sounds like so far away, but that's really horrific. And I think he did a great job with this book. So I did put it on here. It is a dark one. I'm going to go to some lighter ones, but I think it's a good read to read in. Not all the things that we read about are going to be great and good and happy. So there's that. Colson Whitehead is amazing with he did the Underground Railroad. He's really a great writer, so I definitely recommend it. Another one that's really good, and this one is actually the copy I'm going to give to my sister because I have two. I forgot how I think I got this at. Oh, I know where I got this. I got this at the end of the year library sale. They have a big one. And I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I own this. But this is like another great, this is like a brand spanking new copy. I'm going to give it to my sister because I loved it. And she'll love it. And the cover alone is just fabulous. Vanessa Riley has written a lot of books. She's written a lot of romance stuff. And then she got into writing a lot of historical fiction, particularly about the Haitian, or I should say the Caribbean islands, different Caribbean islands. But I think I shouldn't say that. They aren't all, right? Because I have two more of her books. I don't read them yet. But I know they're going to be equally good because this was really good. This is a remarkable sweeping historical novel based on the incredible true life story of Dorothy Kirwan Thomas, a free woman of color who rose from slavery to become one of the wealthiest and most powerful landowners in the colonial West Indies. Do you know her? No, probably not. So read the story. It's really good. I thought she did a great job with this. It just it feels like a movie. You could see this being made into a movie. I bet somebody will eventually do that. I don't know. I don't know who's out there with the money to do these things, but they need to pick up things like this. This one was a really good book. Like, the other ones I have is Queen of Exiles and Sister Mother something. Warrior? Can't read it that far. I have to read those other two. So hopefully I'll get another one of those this year, because this was really good. Highly recommend that one. Now, let's see, which one do I do next? Okay, that's 3, right? We've got, all right, so number 4, I read this one a long time ago. This one came out in, let's see what the date is, 2018, like my other ones. Okay, well, yep, 2014, so this is really old. I think I read it after that, maybe like 2016, maybe not. Maybe it has a little Oprah Book Club 2.0 on it, which actually I think it can come off. Oh yeah, because this cover was stunning. I could take that off. I will do it later because I don't want to rip it. This is the same author, Sue Monk Kidd, that did The Secret Life of Bees, but this is The Invention of Wings, and I'll just let you look at that cover. I purposely wanted this one. You know, the one here in the United States was just so mediocre, but this one was so beautiful. I loved her with the little wings on her. This is based on a historical fiction based on a real person, and it is really good. Like, this is just gonna keep you glued to the pages, want to know what's gonna happen, and at the end you're gonna be like, you know, just be like, wow, like this is just it moves you, and just wonder why you didn't know these things, right? So this is Sarah Grimke. I'm gonna say it wrong probably. Sarah Grimke is the middle daughter, the one her mother calls difficult and her father calls remarkable. On Sarah's 11th birthday, Henry Handful Grimke is taken from the slave quarters she shares with her mother, wrapped in lavender ribbons and presented to Sarah as a gift. Sarah knows that what she does next will unleash a world of trouble. She also knows that she cannot accept, and so indeed the trouble begins. A powerful, sweeping novel inspired by real events, The Invention of Wings is a haunting evocation of the American Deep South in the 19th century, where the evils of slavery were all but invisible to those who saw it as essential to their way of life. It is also the story of an impossible friendship and sisterhood against the odds, told with warmth, humor, and insight. The Invention of Wings will live with you long after the final page is turned. Very true. So good. Really good. And I didn't even mind. It's almost 400 pages, right? 370. Really good. I recommend, when I read it at the time, I recommended it to everybody. My 5th book is an author I talk about all the time because I love her writing. I love that she researches so well with her books. I came across her when she came out with her debut novel. But this one really sat with me. And I found it to be a very interesting and intriguing story. And it's called The Sleeping Dictionary, and it's by Sujata Masay. And I talk about her all the time on this channel. And this one was, I could recommend any one of her books. I just, you know, I could go and snatch another one and feel just equally as happy. But this one, I just remembered, I really, really, really was like, it's so complex. It's so vivid. You feel like you're there. The very interesting character development that she has in here. And then she sprinkles, you know, wraps the story in history. And so it's lovely. It says, "You ask for my name, the real one, and I cannot tell. Is not for lack of effort. In 1930, a great ocean wave blots out a Bengali village, leaving only one survivor, a young girl, as a maidservant in a British boarding school. Palm is renamed Sarah and discovers her gift for languages. Her private dreams almost die when she arrives in Kharagpur and is recruited into a secretive, decadent world. Eventually, she lands in Calcutta, renames herself Kamala, and creates a new life rich in books and friends. But although success and even love seems within reach, she remains trapped by what she is and is not. As India struggles to throw off imperial rule, Kamala, did I say Kamala? It's Kamala. You depends on how you say it. I can't remember. I think. No, I did read this. I don't think I had the audio. I'm not sure. But it's like the whole thing with Kamala Harris, right? Kamala. Kamala uses her hard-won skills for secrecy, languages, and reading the unspoken gestures of those around her to fight for her country's freedom and her own happiness. This was so good. Now that I'm reading the back, I remember. It's just pulling me. This is so good. Read it. Just read it. If you want a historical fiction that you will enjoy, this is it. And this is a chunker, and you know me in chunkers. It's almost 500 pages. It's 481 pages of goodness. Phenomenal. Should be a movie. So good. I'm cheating again. I know I say 5 and 25, but I got an honorable mention that I want to put in here for you. And that's Lisa C's The Island of Sea Women. I love this book so much. I love it. I love the cover. I love the story. It just was one of those ones that put me right onto the internet, and I was just searching to find out about these women in Jeju. So it follows. It's set on the Korean island of Jeju. The island of Sea Women follows Mija and Young Suk, two girls from very different backgrounds, as they begin working in the sea with their village's all-female diving collective. Over many decades, through the Japanese colonialism from 1930s to 40s, World War II, the Korean War, and the era of cell phones and wetsuits for the women divers, Mija and Young Suk developed the closest of bonds. Nevertheless, their differences are impossible to ignore. Mija is the daughter of a Japanese collaborator, forever marking her, and Young Suk was born into a long line of Hanyo, I forget how we said that, Hanyo, and will inherit her mother's position leading the divers. After hundreds of dives and years of friendship, forces outside their control will push their relationship to the breaking point. It's such a really good novel. This one was really good. And then you learned a lot about how these women they still exist today, how they do these dives. They go into the depths, like so far down that most people will use oxygen tanks and things that they free dive without any equipment. And it's incredible. But the story is also really, really incredible. So if you get a chance, this is another one that I highly recommend. So that's my honorable mention. Definitely. Okay, if this one is too heavy for you, you can substitute my Island of Sea Women, and then pow. Oh. So you're going to be in Jamaica, the U.S., the Caribbean, the U.S. again, and then on this one you'll be in India. So they're all great books. I hope that you found something in here that you haven't read that you might be interested in. I definitely think you should take a peek and read at least one of them. Let me know if you've read any of them, or if you plan on reading, which one you think that you might want to be interested in. It would be interesting to see what you find interesting that I've read that you might want to read. And I will talk to you guys later. Later, Gator. Bye. Okay, move, Elle.